right, guys, welcome to the call here. Today, we're going to be discussing basically branding, company branding. So there's a lot to kind of cover around that. A lot of you guys already have websites here with REI Toolbox. We kind of talked about this concept in the past, and we've seen some of you guys actually take some action and seen some results. So we're going to be looking at a couple of those samples, but we also want to look at maybe some questions of, if you haven't taken any action, what should be your first step, right? What should you should be looking for, or what to do? And then if you have taken action, what are some other things, some other ideas? Maybe some of us here in this group have actually gone above and beyond and kind of finding some success with that type of branding. So what I want to kind of start with is, I want to give a big shout out to one of the companies on here that has kind of followed suit on a lot of this stuff that we've been kind of preaching essentially, and things are rolling. And this was one, to be honest, that was hard. It was in a hard market, and it took a little bit. There was a time there where it's like, man, things aren't happening, right? But we continue to push, and they continue to follow through with the taking the action that we were giving them, and now things just are starting to roll, and it's looking really good. So Chris and Sal, I want to kind of make sure that I do give you guys a shout out there, because it was all the little things. If you guys remember, just a couple months back, we were getting the rankings and Katy, but Houston was really hard, and we were going after a very broad avatar, right, or target audience, which is the We Buy Houses. And I want to talk about that too, because as the SEO expert here on our team here at REI Toolbox, I have to have, I have to coach you guys around making sure you use the correct keywords. And sometimes it's not as human friendly, right? So what sometimes it takes is leaving those pages there, but also thinking about what else we can tweak to really kind of hone in our avatar, right? And that's basically what Chris and Sal did. And I want to kind of share some of their stuff. I got two other examples that I want to share. And then we're going to bounce into some of your guys' websites, live websites, and kind of give you some live, basically feedback, and maybe some tips and some action items that you can take. So the first thing that I want to do is open it up to either Chris or Sal. Doesn't matter, whoever wants to kind of take this one. But the question that I have for you guys at Ohana Legacy is your experience, right? Let's talk a little bit about like what it was when you first started, right? And then we got into those moments, because nobody really likes to talk about the moments where you're like, man, am I doing the right thing? And you guys just stuck with it. I remember it's like, we're in with you guys. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep going. And then the last probably month is when I've started kind of seeing more. And obviously just a couple of days ago, things are kind of rolling. But you guys did something. You guys got very specific. So I'll go ahead and unmute whoever wants to take that one, and just give us a little bit of a backstory on how this all happened.
Yeah, just quickly, because Chris has a lot to do with this too. We had a mess when we joined TRC. Our website wasn't doing well, and we just needed to totally revamp everything. And we did everything that everyone else does. We buy houses fast. We buy houses for cash. And I know everybody's in a competitive market, but with that avatar, we were ranking on page 30 in Houston, not 30th, but page 30 in terms of ranking. So we weren't getting anything for 4 or 5 months, and we got very frustrated. And we, just before we went to LA in June, probably about 4 or 5 weeks before that, we made a major tactical decision to cut back and focus our efforts on just one avatar, which was probate. And it's scary to let go of everything, but with the help of Roger and Sean, we started picking keywords. We started revamping our website just before we went to LA, and it took a few weeks for it to kind of permeate. But I will tell you that probably by the end of June, just in our small town of Katy, we started ranking #1, as opposed to that. And with the Houston market, we started ranking like 6th or 7th rather than the 38th page. So we knew we were on the right path, but then we had to totally revamp everything else on our website and get rid of all the other stuff. We had to literally row to the island and burn the boat, and that's what Roger helped us with. So Chris, you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add is that we started to implement more of things that would help with our avatar, such as family pictures, more a personal touch to it, being more warm versus cold. And we actually put that into our website. We wanted that to reflect who we are as a company and as people, and reflect that on our website. We're still building and working on that today. So that's all I would add.
Right on, guys. Thank you for sharing. So just with those fine tweaks, and the big takeaway there is kind of like refining their avatar, really kind of taking a step back. Who are we trying to target? And let's go ahead and make some adjustments to the website and see what we have to do to target certain keywords that are directly for that avatar. So with that, I want to go ahead and show you guys exactly how these guys did it and the results, right? The quick results. And you guys heard it. We were trying to target We Buy Houses, Katy. That was doing actually pretty good. The Houston market was the one that was killing us. It was just a lot of competition. It's taken a while to kind of get to our goal. And as soon as we made that tweak, bam, they went to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can kind of see some live results with these guys. Yeah. All right. So just give me a thumbs up that you guys can see my screen. And all right, we're good. So here we go. This is their homepage. So you guys are so used to seeing something like We Buy Houses in X city. Still a big deal, depending on what your avatar is, what you're doing. These guys decided to really niche down directly for probate, and from there kind of flow into something like pre-foreclosure and anything else that's related, right? So what we're going to do, the most important thing that you have to do is kind of have those keywords there. And as this is their homepage, by the way, I'm going to scroll down just so you guys can kind of see what the second section is now that we're working towards. They're adding some more value here. When someone lands on here, now they have a couple different items here, and this all goes to an interior page, whether it's a landing page to download a certain type of lead magnet, or it's a blog post, right? So they're able to kind of hit this. This is huge for their content authority as well, to kind of build the interlinking within the website, to really solidify what they're all about. Other pieces of content within the website that tells Google what we do, what we specialize in. But the bigger part here is when we actually do a search. Let's do Katy. We buy probate houses in Katy. Now it just took that little tweak for us to kind of put probate in there, make some adjustments to the keywords on the page, and these guys started popping up on the top results, right? This is for Katy. Katy's a smaller city next to Houston. Houston's the big behemoth in that particular market, right? So you might say, all right, it might take a little longer for us to kind of get into Houston. Well, guess what? If you find the right keywords, you make the right adjustments to the page, then you end up with something like this. We buy probate houses in Houston, Texas, right? You have your ads, you scroll down, and bam, we were able to kind of tweak that and get these guys to the top. Now, the people that are clicking on their website, getting redirected to these pages, are their exact avatar, right? They're not the broad market that they're in, or the broad market that's just looking to sell their house, right? It could be anything under the sun. You guys have seen those lists of different situations. So just with that, that's something for you guys to think about, that I want you to take as a big kind of like aha moment or takeaway from this, is who is your avatar, being very clear on who that target audience is, and then going back to your essentially your city page or your location pages, because those are the ones that are optimized to rank. Now, there can be multiple. It's okay to have multiple avatars, people you're targeting, but you have to have a certain, even if it's top 3, because if I scroll down, there's a section down here that all of you guys should have on your websites that basically gives us the list of all the different situations, right? And when we have a conversation with a real estate investor, it's everybody, everybody's our target. You can build towards that. You can definitely build towards that. But if you find yourself, man, I've been at this for a couple months or a year or 2 years, and I'm still not kind of gaining any traction, you're too broad. You got to bring it back in. Number one, you got to identify who that avatar is, just like Ohana Legacy did here. Once you do that, we can start building the authority behind it with content, right? And then with that, you start kind of seeing a lot of the rankings start coming up. And then that way you can set a strategy behind it, whether you want to create lead magnets or whatever it might be that you want these guys to opt into. Now, I'm going to show for the conversions, because these guys now, okay, they're getting the traffic. Let me go to the top here. They're getting the traffic, but great, they're getting the traffic. People are coming to their websites. What's the next problem that you need to solve for? Is people calling you or opting into a form? Now, you have to have enough elements on the page to build that authority or that trust with that person that comes to the site. So the first thing you have to tell them is, you know what, I'm trustworthy. This is who we are. This is what our company is all about. So what these guys have done, they've actually added a video to talk about that. Number two, they've gone out and actually started getting credentials. So this is a big one right now that I think is one that's being left, basically value on the table, right? That a lot of you guys have access to build. And I know some of these platforms do cost money, right? For example, if you need to go get certified as like, for example, this probate real estate specialist. Not sure how much that costs Chris and Sal, but that was probably an investment, right? But you know what? Now they're able to have conversations that their ROI on that particular credential probably is pretty good. The other thing is the BBB. I know a lot of us kind of like don't like it. If you are going in that direction, then let us know, because you might be missing out. If you have that, we can add it to your website and we can actually link to that profile and give you a little bit of a push, basically just being related to that powerful website, the BBB, the Better Business Bureau. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. There's other ways. Any type of chamber of commerce, for example, any type of chamber of commerce, huge. If you're a part of it and you haven't told us, let's connect. Let's figure out what that is. They all have badges, and we grab that badge and we can put it on your website just like this. And it gives you that credibility of that area of your market where you do business. You're a part of the chamber of commerce of that area, and that's huge. And even if we can find a way to get you a profile within the Chamber of Commerce website, that's huge. I got a hand up right here. Keith, go for it, man. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, man. So yeah, so we're working on our first deal right now, and so that's why we couldn't be a part of the BBB. But when we were first talking to them, they weren't going to endorse us with the 100% satisfaction guaranteed badge on our website. They wanted us to change that or take it off because they said that they don't do that. And they wanted us to kind of change the wording to, and this was the Florida branch of the BBB, you know, kind of like we strive for customer satisfaction or something. Have you ever encountered anything like that?
No, not necessarily. And every branch is a little different. That's what I've noticed throughout the years. Some just don't do anything. Others kind of do give you some parameters that you have to follow. So we'll follow those. Again, what I want to make sure that you guys take from this is, for example, Keith, if they're giving you a hard time, it's just not working for you, or they want you to do something. What the point is here is associations, something, right? So some kind of something in your group. That's what the badges are, becoming something big that separates you apart from your competition, right? Not only that, because when you put badges or certifications next to your company, and then you put a video, something like that personalizes it, right? That pretty much tells a story right there. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for almost like a personal brand for your company, right? Who owns this place? Who am I doing business with? And that
Roger,
go for it.
Roger, one of the things that we overlooked that Max told us to do was our Q&A on the website. Like, we changed all this and we forgot about that. And we had a lot more to add. And some of the stuff we took out, like, you know, what do you do in divorce? Well, we're not asking that anymore question. We took those questions out. You know, what about pre-foreclosure? We took those questions out. And we just did in our Q&A things that related to the new avatar.
Perfect. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And then the other thing to think about for you guys that I like what Ohana Legacy has done as well is we lay out the website to get you started, but to a certain point, you have control. Remember, these websites are flexible. We're looking to see what works best for you guys. They decided to kind of move up this section right here to put some value. So when someone lands, they land here. But if they're still trying to make a decision, whether they're going to do business with you, let's give them some value, right? And they just happen to have a couple landing pages. For example, this particular probate one, we'll go ahead and click this, and this will redirect us to a different page. Basically right here, it talks about the probate process, right? What is probate? We're going to go back here and senior care. This one right here, another good one that's very special to them. It's very specific. They have an actual ebook that people can download, right? It gives people some value of where that's at, what they're all about, what they can do for them. But at the same time, the better part is that it's right there in front of them. They come to the site and it's psychology, right? They're kind of working through the decision, whether they're going to do business with you. This just happens to put some value. Some of you guys, for example, Jordan, right, with the Building Appalachia, maybe their properties, they're doing a lot of, buy and hold, wholesaling. They're doing a lot of stuff. Their section, number 2 section, might be different. What do you want people to see right away? Because if they didn't convert here, they're going to scroll down probably to position 2, right? Section 2. What is it that you do? What can you give them to kind of hold them, make that site sticky? And that's the other one that's going to be really, really important, because another page that we wanted to look at that I want to share again, that we kind of talked with Ohana Legacy, that was really important to kind of beef up a little bit and kind of get it going, is their how it works page. I'm going to go to the bottom here, the footer. These are this is another very, very trafficy page on everybody's site. If you start getting traffic to the site, they most likely will land on a location page, because that's what they're optimized for all the locations. But once they get there, they want to find out who you are and what you do. So this page right here, how it works, becomes very, very important. And right here, we are still kind of working through how we can improve this page for Ohana, right? What else we can be doing to this page. But the best thing that they could have done is put a video here to walk people through that. Again, the badges, right? A little bit of information, and let's get that form in there. Just make sure that they can easily opt in and get some information. Now, if we scroll down, we even get the steps here. They have an opportunity to even put a little bit more content if they wanted, but at this point, for the how it works, I think it's good. It's nice and simple. If someone comes here, they can probably finish here and make a decision, right? The other thing is, if they're not ready, if they've gotten this far, the next page they usually look at is going to be the about page. So let me go ahead and go here to the about page. This is another one, guys, that is super important, because we're seeing the trend. Basically, the location pages or your home page is the one that gets hit first. Then they usually go to either the about page or the how it works. And the bigger number has been to the how it works. Then they go to the about page. Okay. So this one right here, another one that just a lot of people don't touch. We put it with the preloaded content, right? Get you going, but then it never gets thought about again. So what I recommend is for you guys to start thinking about your about page. Now that you know people actually visit that one when they're making the decision, you go down right here. These guys have put together a nice set of content here talking about their company. They got a picture, the father and son duo, their badges. But check this out, as we scroll down, they actually have a section when they're talked about individually, each partner, right? What they're all about. Probably next step right here for Chris and Sal, maybe we create these sections with a photo, right? Put an individual photo for each one, just to kind of give that visual of each person, who they are.
Well, Roger,
Go ahead.
The other one, Roger, is we scanned everything we had and we tried to take the word investor out of it, because people consider that a nasty word. I mean, right or wrong, they hear investor right away, they hear shark. So
Wholesaler too.
yeah, and wholesale. So we tried in every possible way. We might have missed a couple of spots, but we took investor out of everything and changed it to something else.
Gotcha. No, great tip there. And then they got their family. Now, Chris and Sal, basically one of the things that they told us from, I believe it's this deal that you're currently working, I believe, these guys actually told you guys that the reason they went with you was because of the family feel. And this basically everything I've been showing you guys right here is them. Now, is that going to be the feel or the relation that you're going to have with your particular client that comes to your website? No, you got to think about what your unique kind of offer is going to be, how you want to present yourself and your company, right?
Well, Roger, the one we just sent out the contract this morning. It happened late yesterday afternoon.
Mhm.
She said to us, it was a probate deal, and she was looking online. It was an organic lead. She said, I'd rather go with someone small and local than one of these big organizations, which fit in exactly with what we were trying to do. Now, we didn't come up with this ourselves. You guys helped us. So, get that feel, but that's exactly what they were saying. And so did the other two deals. The other two deals were like, we like the fact that you're a family, your father and son, you guys are local, you're not a big corporation. And I think we got to play that up because everybody else is doing something different. And we're getting hammered. We were getting hammered before.
Absolutely, man. Great share. Great share. And now I'm kind of flowing through these pages, guys. I know we're talking a lot about Ohana. The reason I'm doing this because they were ready to take those steps and they took all the action. So it's a good example for me to flow you through these pages. Two, we're using data. I know I'm showing a lot of these pages kind of, hey, what's great. This is all based on data, the flow, what people are looking for. It's going to be your city pages or your homepage because it's part of your city pages. Then it's about or how it works. Now, from there, we're going to go ahead and go to the next most popular page on your site that you should be looking for. Optimizing, maybe. What I mean by optimizing, make sure you're looking at it and make sure it has what reflects your company, right? And it is the review page. Okay, so let me go ahead and open that up. So for Ohana, they have a couple videos on here. So if you guys get some deals done or maybe some past deals and that person's willing to kind of shoot a testimonial video, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube, send us a link to the video on YouTube, right? We will help you add it to your website, to your testimonial site, and then we can help you make decisions where else we can use these videos within the location pages or maybe some other pages within the website that cause basically a little more stickiness, right? Have people help them through the journey of converting, in other words. But this one right here is great because I got a couple videos. I've already watched all of them. I think they nailed it. This one was probably the most impactful one. Very, very personal, and it's great. And when someone watches that's going through that same situation, bam, it's like you guys kind of connected right there. So it's a great video that they have their testimonial to share. And then obviously they have a couple more here. But my recommendation for you guys, all of you guys, jump into your review page. That's the next one you should be looking for to make some updates. If you still have the placeholder reviews, which a lot of you guys do, right? The placeholder reviews that we put on there just to get you started, show you the example, get rid of those as soon as you can. Now, don't remove if you don't have anything. You have to have that section just for credibility, right? But I encourage you to go ahead and go out there and try to generate some reviews. A lot of people might say, I don't have any reviews. I haven't done any deals. I'm just getting started. Well, what you can do, you can go out there and try to connect with people and give them knowledge, right? Give them some consulting, and those people can give you reviews as well. And those work for this. We've done that quite a bit. Actually, we coach people through that, and that's how their first reviews start coming in. Okay, so this review page, and if you notice, I'm not talking about Google Business Profile. I've talked a lot about that. I've basically beaten that subject down. We're talking about your website. We need these on your website. We've seen the data. People are looking at these reviews in that order, right? So how they come in through the funnel. So this is going to be a page that's really important. And after they've done this, guess where else they go if they still haven't made a decision? FAQs. Now they're looking for what other questions might have I missed that I didn't ask these guys that they can give me ideas, right? So we get you started. We get you started with some FAQs, general stuff, but everybody's market is different. Everybody's process is different, right? Everybody has a general path, but then you guys have a very special way you deal with clients or the type of clients you deal with. So another recommendation, go to your FAQs, look through them. If you haven't looked at this page, maybe in a while or ever, right? Go to that page, look at it, check out, revisit your process and see if there's anything you can provide us, your support team, right? So we can add it for you in here that can answer questions for your clients, okay? So when you're on one of our higher end packages, whether it's Accelerator or Dominator, we actually add some FAQs as part of the content. You know, we've kind of mixed it up with blogs, and then we can add some FAQs as well. But you guys know your business better than we do. So if there's anything that you need on there, this is a page that also gets quite a bit of traffic. Okay, so that's another one that you guys got to look for. So any questions on that flow? Basically, the most important pages on your site: location pages, homepage, right? Your how it works, review, and your FAQs. And go ahead and unmute if you have any type of questions around there before I hop to anything else.
Roger, wasn't about us in between how it works in reviews? Or no?
Yeah, so you got the location pages, how it works. Sorry, and you're right. About us, reviews, FAQs.
Perfect.
Now, every market, every website's a little different, but the whole number, that is the average right there. That flow right there. And even at that, those are the most important pages on the site. Okay. So now what I want to kind of move to is make sure that we actually talk a bit about your actual location pages. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to a different website here. I'm going to use Mr. Phil here. I don't think he's on the call right now. He's super busy closing 11 deals. I think starting tomorrow. So I was talking to him today, so I had his website up. And one of the cool things, I'm going to go ahead and give him a shout out here. It's a recording, so I'm sure you'll appreciate this. I was giving him some props on his about page, right? He's doing some work. He is a veteran, and look at that. He has some pictures of his family, some pictures of him in the military, a little bit of the story. Boom. Another thing, just like Chris and Sal, it's a personal touch, right? Now we know.
I want his contact information, Roger. He's a jughead. I got to talk to him.
Right on. There it is right there, man. You can opt in and get your cash offer there, Bob. But yeah, so he has all his stuff there. He's working through even getting his next step that he's working on is video reviews. So through this process of closings, he's actually has a process where he's going to get to videos and do what Chris and Sal have done. And we're going to start adding some video testimonials for that. For him, again, what's the ultimate goal is to be able to rank something like this. So we put in something, he's in Canal Winchester, so in the Columbus type area, and we got him ranking very, very well. But now we're moving. The reason we're kind of start optimizing a little more is because he wants to dominate in the actual Columbus market. So it's a lot like Chris and Sal. They're in Katy, but they want to dominate in Houston. So we're trying to make that tweak. So what we're coaching him through is kind of trying to dial in his avatar and trying to see what we can do to make sure that he's also going and appearing on a lot of the searches for Columbus. Okay, so that's why it becomes very, very important, because it might not be cash buyers. It might be foreclosure, buying houses under foreclosure in Columbus or something like that. So that's what we're going to be working on with him, something for you guys to think about as you start making your decisions on your avatars. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to his works, where is it at? Ohio. So he has a bunch of stuff going on. We're going to go over to the Columbus page. And this is one that we're going to start optimize this. And I'm bringing this one up because this is just a starting point. A lot of you guys are at this stage. What can you do? What are the recommendations? This is usually what you see. Pretty standard, right? A lot of us kind of look like this. So what can you do, right? What is the next step for you here? So first thing, we're going to go to the top. You got to dial in the avatar. That means we might actually have to change the actual header, right? Who we're targeting. Chris and Sal, probate. Anybody else? It's going to be probably something else. And don't worry about it, because we're still going to be targeting this keyword, but we're going to dial it in because this keyword will be sprinkled throughout the website and other places. Okay. Number two thing, maybe it isn't just a form asking for a cash offer, right? Put your information here for a cash offer. Maybe it's a lead magnet. Maybe you're giving something away. Maybe you decide instead of just doing a form, you kind of give something away, something to think about that can potentially make it a little stickier. The other one that we're doing that's more SEO related is the location video. A lot of you guys have those, but that's something that if you can do it, what we've seen too, we've created many explainer videos that kind of flow people through on just like a cartoon type videos, opposed to just a random kind of like what Chris and Sal did, just with their cell phone or their camera, and just record it that way. Those convert better. They got way better responses than our explainer videos. Again, if you just don't feel comfortable doing that, I would rather have an explainer video than nothing, right? But just giving you the stats. We've seen that time and time again, that just the simple videos of you guys actually convert better. The other thing is, you guys have to scroll down to this section here. So I think for the majority of our clients, this is another place that is pretty unique. We found out by asking the questions like, what is your process, right? What is your process? We find out that's not this. It's very close, but there's opportunity. There's maybe an extra step, right? Maybe there's more to each step, right, that you're asking for. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and revisit your process and potentially look at what that looks like, because that's going to reflect and dictate what your how it works page looks like as well. So we might have to make some adjustments. Now, if this is your process, don't change it, right? That is what it is. We just kind of time and time again, we have those conversations, and this is not your process. So you definitely want to look at that. And then the final thing that I want to kind of point out here is please read through your content, guys. It's a content pack. It's very optimized. It's full of keywords. It's great, right? It works. Some of you guys rank very well and you haven't done anything right. It works. I know it does. But if you want to continue to compete in your market, especially those of you in more competitive markets, read through the content and see if you can provide some feedback or some value, right? Some personal value, right? Maybe you want to add a paragraph in here, or maybe you just rewrite it, right? You look at it, it's like, I like it, but I think I want to say it a different way. 100%, please do it. You got your support. You got your support team here at REI Toolbox. We're more than happy to jump in and help you add whatever you write, right? So that's a big one that needs to be kind of discussed, because that's one that also doesn't get touched. And what we've seen is when we get someone on the dominator level where we're doing a ton of kind of adjustments to the content, it gives you, not that it's going to skyrocket you in the rankings, but as soon as we do that and we personalize it a little more, it gets a little bit of a bounce up. So I encourage you guys to kind of look at those and see if there's anything that you guys want to add that's maybe we might not know, or a different way you want to say things, okay? And keep in mind, we're always going to consult with you guys. If you're taking away an important keyword, we'll let you know, and we'll help you kind of work it in. If it's something that you're completely getting rid of that we feel it's important, okay? So nothing to be scared of there. And that's about it. The only other thing that I can really give you is going to be photos. Any type of, if you're in Columbus, then one of the things that we're coaching around here for this particular site is we want photos that are coming from your iPhone or your Android, right? Something that's coming directly from you that does not exist on the internet. Again, sometimes they're not as pretty, but they tend to convert better. So that's kind of another thing that's huge. And again, all you have to do is send it in, tell us where you want us to put it. We'll go ahead and resize it for you and put it where you want it, okay? And we'll make sure that it kind of works and it looks nice as it can be, and go from there. So those are the optimizations for the location page. Super easy, quick ones that, anybody, whether you're on foundations or higher, you can do these. If you're on anything like Accelerator, Dominator, we will jump on a call and help you through this process. If you're on foundations, you can always leverage our support team. We'll help you kind of make some of these adjustments for you, okay? All right, guys. And then any questions on locations, maybe some things that you guys have tried, not working, or anything that I kind of went over that might be a problem. Pretty straightforward. All right, now the final thing that's really going to kind of start pushing and building that credibility around this brand. If you go through all these steps, you cover all these important pages, you make your adjustments, and you're ready to go, what else do you do? What do I have to do to kind of keep things going? It is your content. It is your blog. Are you building content, right? So you got to make sure that you're building content within your blog that have to do with your avatar. And not only that, when you build that content, that you're interlinking into other pages within the website. It's as simple as that. I'll keep it there because if you go and build a lot, for example, now we're working, going back to Ohana here, and go to the homepage. So we're on the homepage. Now that we're working a very specific avatar, what we're doing on our content side is we're trying to come up with every question, every topic. We're working directly with Chris and Sal on things that they're learning that we have no idea, right? That has to do with this process, and giving it to our writers to be able to kind of either rewrite in a unique fashion, so it's theirs, right? They own it, or just kind of trying to do our research, and everything is around this avatar. We want to cover as much as possible and then interlink all that stuff together to build that authority around probate, foreclosure, and anything that's related to that right there. The other thing is, I can't remember exactly what it was, but the verbiage, Sal, I don't know if you remember, but you were talking to me on our meeting.
Facility.
What facility? So knowing the lingo.
Oh, yeah. I lost a couple of dollar bills on that one.
Knowing the lingo for the avatar that you're going after is major, because if you have that lingo, right, that verbiage, you're using the right words that don't offend somebody, right, that don't offend the avatar, but instead speak to them, nailed it. But if you don't know that, you haven't done the research, you haven't gone out there and gotten involved in these communities, maybe taken some courses around that particular topic or whatnot, you're not going to know that. And that's what these guys did. And it was funny because I would have never have thought that. I would have put, the other word in there all over the place. And now that we found that, we're able to go through and scan the website, clean it up, and now we're speaking to that avatar directly with the verbiage that's friendly to them. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I want to go ahead and open it up. I'm going to stop sharing here for a minute. I want to go ahead and open it up to anybody that might have some questions, or if you want to share your link in the comments there, I'm more than happy to pop it up in front, right here in front of everybody, and we can kind of go over it together if there's a specific question that you might have.
I have a question, as always.
You're good, Keith. Go for it, man.
I mean, hog the airtime. Sal and Chris, why did you guys narrow down to probate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why that avatar?
Well, here's what we figured. So within that realm, it's a lot of family, right? So it goes back to with how we operate as people. We took a look back and said, hey, these are our core values. These are our family values. It sounds cliche almost, but we figured that's where we belong more, and we get more enjoyment out of that side of things. If need be, we could do pre-foreclosure and all the other stuff, but we just prefer being in that particular market and helping families in those times because we've been through it and because we've had experience with it, and now we want to help it. That's really, in essence, why, as we took a look back at who we are as people, which one of those, if we had to pick one of all those different lead sources, which one would we pick? And that's the one that we decided because of where we fit in.
Dude, that's awesome. Go ahead, Sal.
Keith, the other thing too is that as we started doing more and more deals, we started realizing, we're dealing with a lot of older folks and people whose parents have passed away, and this is really weird, and they like us, because we walk in, we say, hey, we're sorry. We don't call their stuff junk. We say they're memory things, and all this kind of stuff. And we just realized that slowly we by accident, we were gravitating towards that. And the overall, on a business sense, Keith, and to everyone, as Roger showed you, we were not competing with We Buy Houses Fast. We buy houses for cash. We're your number one. We just did not compete in the Houston market. Everyone's market's competitive. We just were not, we didn't have a deal for 6 months. Okay. We didn't have a deal for 6 months until just 2 months ago. And we had to do something because we were sinking. And we realized, why not do what people are telling us we're good at? And that's what happened.
Man, that's amazing. Just listening, just hearing that, I appreciate that. What I think is what's so cool is your heart is in that lead. So that's just going to naturally I feel like shine through. Would you agree?
But
Absolutely.
the thing that, money talks, right? And the thing is, the last 3 deals that we've done, which one we just sent the contract out this afternoon, we were the lowest price. We weren't the best price. We would $15,000 to $20,000 below. And they just said, we want to work with you.
Because of
blah, 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 blah,
because
blah.
of that world, and that's what they're looking for. They're not looking now pre-foreclosure. Of course, they're going to look for best
Yeah,
price.
we
And all
can't,
these,
yeah.
and all these
I-
other parts, and hold on, and all these other parts, there's different feelings, right? So that goes along to say, like, yeah, pre-foreclosure, they don't, just because they like you and your family oriented doesn't mean they're going to take $20,000 less. It's very unlikely. So that has turned into something, but yeah, basically we kind of fell into it. So hope that
Wow.
helped.
Like just
Yeah.
wow, man.
Awesome. Yeah, just finding that niche, Keith. I mean, these guys, we've been working with them for a while, right? And this niche was not on it was broad, and it just kind of took a couple things. What was it? Just to be completely honest, it was an event, right? An event that you guys were with us actually at an event, and it happened to be one of the speakers, and they touched on it, and then you guys followed up on that. You're like, whoa, that relates to us. And we were able to kind of take that and take it to the next level to adjust your guys' website. But any other questions you guys have in regards to your guys' websites? Again, I am seeing some stuff in the chat. I do want to kind of comment on that. If you guys are going to share reviews, because that's part of the branding, I appreciate that right there, because you guys can definitely do that. What I would recommend is that you use your personal Gmails. Do not use your business Gmails. So anything that's Workspace, G Suite, whatever, what it used to be, don't use those. What we're seeing more and more is they'll show up on one side, like on your dashboard, but people can't see them on the front end. And that's Google kind of basically filtering. So if you are gonna share reviews, make sure that you're using your personal Gmail. So it's gonna be an easier way to get them through.
So mine still spams other people, and when they try to write the reviews on my page, they can't do it. I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm just wary not to write any reviews for anybody so they don't get spammed. I don't know. It just doesn't let people write reviews on mine, and it doesn't let me write on others. Really weird stuff going on. I don't know what's going on.
There
Everything weird
is
as well.
something where you get flagged. So say in the past, we used to do that a lot, right? And many different groups kind of share reviews and it was working, and boom, all of a sudden it wasn't. And in some cases they were taking reviews off of some profiles. So Sigol, the best recommendation I can give you is to go fire up another Gmail, free one. I'm not talking about your workspace, the paid one. I'm talking about the free one. And then you can utilize that. I'm pretty sure that one right there is a fresh one. It should be fine. It sounds like your particular emails have been flagged. So that's why you're kind of getting it's looking like spam. Looks like Lorraine, you got a question?
I do. So just really quick about the chambers. You said to just send something over to support if you're part of the Chamber of Commerce for the area.
Yes. Yes. Is this on the real estate side or the tax side?
I only have it on the real estate side right now.
Okay. And now one of the things for you to, couple action items for you is number
Sorry.
one.
New York soundtrack right there.
Okay. No worries. Number one is go to your chamber and figure out or find out if you can actually create a profile on their website. So
I think I did do that.
Do that. If you did, send us the link. Sometimes we can't see it. I'm just wondering if we can, but just send us the link and we'll figure it out, because sometimes there's only the members that can see that.
Okay.
It's kind of, if I can see it, I'd like to kind of see it. So if you did create it, you just created a backlink for yourself. Well, you got to go back and make sure you put your domain, right? And remember, don't just write your domain, copy it from the address bar and you paste it into the profile. Do not just type it in. That's how you backlink.
I might have, so I'll go back and do that.
Yep. The other thing is you can ask if they have a badge that you can add to your website. If they could, sometimes they give you an actual embed code. So it's not just a picture, it's an actual embed code that actually gives you a backlink from your website, basically backlinking to them, but it's good because now it's back and forth and it's really good for authority. So if anybody else is dealing with or being a part of Chamber, ask for the badge and see if they have one.
And that, I guess that would be the same process, because for the tax business, I do have the BBB accreditation. So I can, I guess, apply what I'm gonna do for the chamber, because I don't have the BBB for the real estate, but I have it for the tax. So essentially, I think there's a way, I know they have badges. I don't know necessarily how to get them yet, but I'll look into that for the BBB as well.
For the time being, send a support ticket in for the BBB for the tax side. And what you have, those I know you can share the link, the URL to the profile, because those are public. And then we can get any information we can from there.
Okay.
And even a picture, right? And then we can actually manually through the code backlink to tell you figure out how to get the badge.
Whatever you just said, Roger, sure, that sounds,
just send me the link to the profile.
okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that'll be enough for us to be able to add it. Because yeah, that for your tax business, huge. That'd be a good badge to have.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right. Anybody else have any questions, comments?
Roger, as far as the testimonials, like the video testimonials, I have like a kind of a generic one from someone that I worked with a previous company.
Okay.
Is it okay if I like re-upload that to YouTube under our
Under
new
Laura?
business account? And
Is it, I'm assuming it's real
I
estate
found this on
related?
the web. Hold on, wait, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Say that again.
Is it real estate related? I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's real estate related and she says Marie specifically, but that's it. She doesn't say like a company name or anything like that.
Okay, yes, the answer is yes, you can definitely do that. Again, as long as it's not mentioning another company or some other subject, you're golden. Yeah, we can start
Okay.
there.
I actually have a follow-up question to Marie. So is there a way that we can sort of systemize this a little bit more? I know you mentioned the guy who's in the military, how he's incorporating this into his like workflow somehow, because I do have one video testimonial. And when I do the webinar, as I say, I send people to Google to give a review, but if there was a way I could like send people a link to say, hey, click on this link and it'll record a video for you or something like that, that would be super beneficial. I don't think there's anything like that.
There is actually. I have to go back and dig through my resources, but there is, I'm sure there's a couple of them now, but I got to do a little bit of research. There is a platform, I can't remember what it's called. I got to look it up, but basically it's all set up. It's say you're going to ask for them, you send them a link, and when they click on it, it helps them record something. It's almost like Loom, if you guys are familiar with Loom, but it records them, and then basically you have access to the platform. So whatever they recorded, that's what you have. It's easy for them to deal with.
That's that would be perfect.
So let me figure out what that is.
Is there a video like we can be like now videoing on Zoom and have them, because like a lot of my clients are on different islands. I don't see them. I talk to them on the phone. And like in Zoom, we can do a or something like that you see both faces, or I don't know.
I mean,
Right
no,
It's
yeah.
basically what we're doing here. If I wanted to get a testimonial for you guys, I'm recording right now. So I can go down the line here. I have all of you guys, but just say I was on here with Lorraine. And I was like, all right, Lorraine, go. Or maybe I ask her a question, right? That has to do with her experience. A lot what I did with Chris and Sal at the beginning of the call, I can go back and chop that up, just that comment, and I can make that a testimonial. So Segal, absolutely. If you jump on a Zoom, just hit record and just go through your conversation with them. But at some point, ask a question about their experience with you, you know, the stuff that you helped them, and you can just chop that small portion and use that as the review.
Yeah, and I think that's a great option too. I was just thinking about it from a sense of, if I could send something out, they don't necessarily have, you don't have to schedule a time maybe to get on a Zoom, just another option. I think that would be cool.
So which questions would you ask them in the review? So just make it a bit like different review where they're online with you, you know, what would you suggest for the
Yeah.
video reviews? You know, so it's more authentic than just having a person, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, because I can give you a list of stuff though, but I want to kind of hear from some people that just recently done it, like Chris and Sal with their current videos. What, you guys help somebody through a probate situation? I mean, what exactly, what kind of questions did you guys ask to get that type of reaction?
So normally it's actually very simple. What I tell them is I say, hey, first of all, I ask them, you know, if they want to do the review, if they agree. What I ask them is, tell us how your experience was and tell us how you felt raw. And because I want it to be 100% genuine for us at least. So I just say those two things. Now, I used to write it down like 3 to 5 questions to have them, but they usually forget and they just keep talking. So as long as they're talking, that's fine. And we keep it at 1.5 minutes, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, they forget the questions entirely. I'm like, that's okay. No worries.
Yeah, the last house we closed on, the review is on the website. I mean, the way she talked about us, we should be, you know, ready for sainthood, but that's okay because we're not gonna be saints. But at the same time, the message comes across, and just by accident, you could see all the junk around the house, you know, while she's sitting there. Well, I shouldn't say junk, but stuff around the house. So, yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah, I just leave them with 2 questions. That's usually the easiest thing because that's a lot easier.
Awesome. Great tips, guys. So right there's the goal. Keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple, because if you try to do 5 questions, complicate, they're going to forget anyway. And then the other thing that you can do that I can kind of plug in for this, you do it as an interview type conversation. If you think they're going to forget and you do have maybe 3 to 5 questions, then record it and you ask them one at a time, right? One question at a time. That way it's a conversation. Those are really good as well. All right, guys, I'm going to give one more person an opportunity. If there's anybody else that maybe has a question, comment, needs some help or whatnot, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So feel free to unmute and ask your questions if there's anybody else.
Roger, I do have one question. Well, I would actually, piggybacking off what Lorraine was saying, if you dig in and you find that system or software or whatever it is to send, that would be very helpful on us as well too. If you don't mind.
No, it's man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just cannot remember what it's at. It's been probably 3 years since I've used or seen it. So I got to go ahead and just go through my notes, but I'll get it for you guys.
And then tell Sean to integrate it into Lead Vault. So there's some way for us to just capture the video in Lead Vault. I'm just
Man,
that idea out there.
Yeah. Now I'm going to put this out there too. That system is as cool and as easy as it sounds. It might complicate your process, because some people might be a little kind of like, whoa, I don't want to just record myself on coming up. So I'll let you guys, I'm actually curious that once I share it, you guys try it, kind of some feedback, because yeah, it seems like most people just go with the Zoom or a Loom, right? Some kind of easy just recording with their phone as well. But yeah, I'm wondering if how that goes. I'm gonna get some feedback from you guys. But with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll kind of open it up for a couple more questions after that.